This is Special Focus right on EquityAxis, your daily insight on stock market developments and on developments in the Zimbabwean economy. A splendid evening it is to you. I'm Ibn Mabunda. Let's roll. On agenda tonight, London and JSE listed Tharisa Minerals, a firm heavily invested in PGMs, platinum group metals, as well as the production of chrome concentrate, says it remains committed to its agreement with the Zimbabwean government. Last year, the group signed a pact with the Zimbabwean government that was known as the Investment Project Framework Agreement, in which the group undertook the construction of a PGMs mining complex for a 90% stake in a local company that is known as Saline Chromium Zimbabwe. Well, of course, that is subject to a call option to acquire that stake in the corporation. At the same time, the Saline Chrome Zimbabwe has 3 pacts that allows it to explore for chrome in the Great Dyke of Zimbabwe, land with 9,500 hectares. Also, the group signed another deal with a local mining corporation known as Karo Mining Holdings in a project worth $4.5 million as the group acquired a 26.8% shareholding in that deal. Karo has been awarded a special grant of over 24,000 hectares in the Great Dyke. Meanwhile, Tharisa has cut short its production target for 2019, citing challenges to do with its processing plants in South Africa. Elsewhere, the Capital Bank Corporation of Zimbabwe, formerly the Renaissance Merchant Bank of Zimbabwe, has provisionally been wound up. This came after the bank failed to manage its affairs, resulting in a debt obligation of over $25 million. In 2011, NASA injected capital worth $24 million in the bank, but of course NASA was not satisfied with the manner in which the bank was being managed, resulting in them taking to the courts for the matter to be resolved. Well, in 2011, the same year, the RBZ placed the bank under curatorship. In 2012 and 2013, the bank continued to post losses despite efforts being made to address the issues at the corporation. Well, of course, this is what has brought us to this point, and the High Court has ordered for the bank to be liquidated. So, of course, issues to be addressed in as far as that is concerned are the injection of NASA in that particular corporation. For conversation on these and other issues, I'm joined in studio by our resident investment analyst, Anesu Chimbumu. Anesu, good evening and welcome to the platform.
Well, thank you, Eben. Always a pleasure.
Splendid. Let's cut to the chase. Tharisa, why the optimism?
I think they're very optimistic because basically they have a future with Zimbabwe, because already they are talking about building the vertically integrated mining complex, which is pretty much going to be taking a little bit of more time for them to actually start reaping out from their investments. So by the time they finish building it, that's when they then have the 90% that they're talking about. And then as the 90% comes in, we can then start talking about how much is going to be coming in. By that time, there is hope that Zimbabwe can't really go any further than this, as we have pretty much hit rock bottom for now. So by the time that premiums do start coming in, things should be better in the economy.
Well, Anesu, the group has invested in Karo Mining's $4.5 million for 26.8% stake. At the same time, they are also erecting a vertically integrated PGM mining complex. What exactly is happening here?
Okay, 2 words, they've hit a jackpot. Jackpot, jackpot, jackpot. Why am I saying this? 26.8% in Karo mining resources is pretty much 26% of 24,000 hectares of mining land. Okay. Where they could in Great Dyke and within Great Dyke, and Great Dyke has a plethora of minerals that are there, inclusive of your PGMs, your chrome, and the like. Right. Yet Tharisa say they are heavily invested in chrome mining. Well, the 26.8% is pretty much a steal for 4.5 million. Because, I mean, the value that is within that space, land space, which is a special grant by the government towards Karo mining resources. I mean, these guys have come into a space where they know they're going to make millions and millions of dollars out of it. Now, Saline, 90% of Saline is going to be owned by these guys.
90%?
Yes, after they finish the construction of this mining complex. Now, 90% of 9,000 hectares again, and I mean vertically integrated mining complex. This doesn't talk about open cast mining. It also talks about shaft mining. That means how much ever they're gonna go deep into the ground. They're gonna be still getting out some more minerals and larger amount and better quality minerals, because I mean, as you go further down into the ground, you do get better quality minerals. They are currently expecting about 3.2 grams per ton of chrome from what they're going to be mining at Karo and Saline when it's done. But then I'm sure that 3.2 grams is actually going to go up as time goes on. So without just looking at Karo, we then look at Saline. Saline has about 9,500 hectares of land.
Right.
That is worth of them mining, of which in Saline they're going to be owning about 90% of that company once they finished building the mining complex that they say they're going to build, the vertically integrated mining complex. Now, within that 9,500 hectares, they're expecting about 96 million ounces, which translates to about 2,700 metric tons of PGMs. Within that kind of tonnage, they're looking at about 3.2 grams at an average grade of 3.2 grams per ton. Okay. But then we also have to take into note that Zimbabwe as a country doesn't have much money for them to be doing a lot of explorations in the country. So without us being able to pay for explorations, when companies that are foreign then come in and say, I mean, I've got the dollar, let me explore and find out what's happening on this land, and then I can invest in your land. Okay. They could pretty much write out any average that they can get. Because I think personally, when they start going the kilometers down the earth, they're gonna find better averages of grade in terms of.
So in essence, we're basically working with what they tell us when they explore.
Yeah, in a nutshell.
Okay,
yes.
But explain to me, what is a vertically integrated PGM mining complex? I think that's a serious word right there.
A mining complex even is basically one that has not just one mine. It's got more than one mines that they're running. They also have a fully integrated mining system where they also have processors and processing facilities that are there on that one space of land. So basically, this is where most of their money is. Not regarding Karo resources, they could still make a killing out of Saline the moment they finish building this mining complex.
So it's a complex. It means there's so many of these.
Yeah. You could find a lot of these, but then I suppose when we then start talking about geological facts, we wouldn't really know at what kind of radius are they allowed to have different sightings of shaft mines.
Okay, fair enough. Let's move on to the stock market. How did the stocks perform today?
Well, the stock market today again was in the red, coming off for the third day in a row. We do see the all-share index dropped about 2.66%. Industrials also coming off 2.71%. For both of them, set 150.49 and 501.89 points. The mining's index resultant to a Bandura uptick today went up 0.66% for it to settle at 217.92. The heaviest drop came from the top 10 index. Now, this is where most of my concentration is today. Now, you'd find that amongst the top 5 fallers, we had 4 of them being heavy caps, namely your Cassava, your Econet, your Insco, and your Old Mutual. And so you'll find that most of these stocks are pretty much predominantly owned by foreign investors and the like. But then the complexity and the context of what of the value which was traded today had a net selling of our foreign sellers, of foreigners. Okay. So now we see that there's a foreign sell that's happening, which then translates into something that can give us a signal around foreign investors actually dumping the stocks that are in the market, which has been pretty much happening the past days, because the market has been pretty much being drawn down by the heavy cap stocks. Right. So now foreign investors are dumping that stock, and then we would find that as they're dumping that stock, the local guys now who have the RTGS money are gonna pretty much be using their funds for them to put it in a more safer place or
Hedging.
safer market, which is hedging, as correctly you've mentioned. So with them hedging now, you'd find that the lower priced or rather the underpriced stocks are now being purchased by the local guys at the expense of foreign sales.
Okay, well, fair enough. That's about it for tonight, Anya. So thank you, Zimbabwe, for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and to visit our website, www.equityaxis.net. From Anis and I, thank you for watching and good evening.